What's up, guys? It's Scott with Never Hedge. We have a live Q&A with Steve G from Emax on Telegram right now. We're going to go right to that.
A long time ago. Also, there's issues where, I'm throwing out there a guess, as in some of these larger wallets. I don't know if they were selling or if that's actually part of your strategy in burning some of these coins from some of these wallets, because I noticed one of the wallets were one of the wallets that you all kind of controlled, I thought, right? So those two are something that if there's a little more transparency with who the developers are, anytime you can put a name and a face behind something, it will give people a little more comfortability. Because of how some of the things was ran, gives it a feeling of it maybe not being real, right?
Yeah.
But I'm heavily invested in this, so I'll stop there and let you respond. Thank you.
Cool, man. Yeah, no worries. So I hear you. I hear your questions. I hear your concerns. It'd be a really, silly strategy for us to be selling now. If those were our wallets, I could assure you that they're 1,000% not our wallets. Believe me, it's stressful for all of us, especially in the short term, not in the long term. But it's just really just some whales that got in super early on, and I wish we had more control of them. Some we actually know, some we don't know. That's I don't want to say like that's just like part of the reality of being into a token early on. You don't know who's at the top. You don't know how much they hold. But we are holding strong. The founders haven't sold anything. In terms of transparency, which I think is a good point. We're continuing to do these live Telegram calls. We're going to start doing other social media live casts as well. So something that we are doing on Monday night. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but we're actually going to have a live video Q&A with video on Monday from Miami after the conference and after the fight. So that's going to be 7:30 next Monday, where you'll be able to see, to exactly your point, you'll be able to connect faces with names, just so just to further instill trust. And to be honest with you, I honestly think like the true people behind EthereumMax and the community and whatnot, I think they are believers, and I think they do know it's real. Something else that I think really goes like unnoticed, like almost like too often, even me myself, is that this token's like 3 weeks old, right? Like, but we've just been going at like Mach 5 speed. It's taken over our lives. We've gained such a massive community in such a short period of time. We have 75,000 holders. No token has reached that number of holders in this amount of time. So we are going fast, and with that we're growing with the community, and there's going to be things like today where we have to piece together a strategic answer to answer our community. The last thing I'll say is when the community has asked questions or when something I guess newsworthy happens, we don't we're not silent. We don't turn a deaf ear. We want to address it head on. We want to further instill trust. So hope that answers your question.
All right, BG, you have a question?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Steve? Pleasure to meet you. My name's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, would you mind addressing more specifically the way the company is going to burn tokens, or if you even are going to burn tokens?
Sure. This has been a nonstop topic and just a nonstop point. And without saying specifics, there is going to eventually be a rollout of some burn characteristic. The reason why we haven't released specifics is because there's a lot of ways to go about it, and we want to make sure that with the community in mind, there is the community benefits the most. So what I could say is there's not going to be I don't have specifics for you right now, but I guess in terms of answering a black or white question of is there going to be some type of burn element in the future for Emax, the answer would be yes. And I think that's probably the first time where we've been able to at least confidently give somebody like a black and white answer, or yes or no. So I think that in and of itself should make Emax holders feel good. And soon there will be news in terms of the specifics. Because, again, this is like a, close-knit community. What we don't want to do, and something that we have to be mindful of internally, something that I am in particular very cautionary of and very sensitive of, is that we want to release the right information. We don't want to release quick information, right? So we know it's a big community. There's a lot of people, and to be very frank, I think a majority of people are great. A majority of community is amazing. You just have these, these trolls, these people who love drama, people who like stories and just want to, sell sensational ads. If we slip up on even like a little bit of what we're saying, it's going to be dissected, 17 different ways. And, we want to make sure whatever we release is 1, accurate, 2, good for the community, and, 3, valid left and right.
Right.
Hope that answered your question.
All right, next question, Mohammed, you have a question?
Hey, Steve. My name is Mohammed. Good. Thank you for joining us. I'll keep this quick. Not a question. Just wanted to thank you and the Emax team for all the hard work you've been putting in over the last few days. So thank you. Looking forward to the future.
Yeah, thanks for being part of the community.
All right, next question, Alex Max, you have a question?
Yeah, so I wanted to know if you guys could, if we were able to limit the amount of Emax that somebody purchases or sells, and if that would get rid of the bots.
So personally, I'm not a developer, so I don't know if there's a way we could necessarily limit somebody from buying something, because obviously that would kind of go against the whole decentralized concept of crypto. That being said, most people know that there are bots out there that do strategic calculated buy and sells. With that, we've been in a lot of talks. So, we just launched a couple weeks ago. You guys see our roadmap from last night, and part of the conversations that we're having is how do we battle these bots? Because we know that it's a pain in the butt. Like it's like that's something I think that everyone could agree, no matter if you have one token or trillions of tokens. Like it's a thorn in everyone's side. It's not fun. So to answer your question, 1,000% we are in the talks about how we can do that from how do I word it, like a very professional and non-intrusive way, because every decision has a counter decision, right? So we want to make sure that we are not necessarily preventing bots, because that seems very definitive in nature, but more so how can we protect the community and mitigate the situation, and how do we prevent a bad situation from getting worse, whereas we just continue to limit the amount of quote-unquote bad situations as they relate to bots. So that's we're aware of it. We hear you. I mean, that's something that, believe me, in terms of like a rally cry, nobody benefits from it. It's annoying. I wish bots didn't even exist, but they do, and we are working towards how we can do that in a very methodical manner.
All right, Zach, do you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, how you doing? This is Zach here. Nice to meet you. I just want to ask how you plan to address the ease of payment with the Ethereum Max for Live, and possibly a time frame.
You mean how we plan on addressing? Sorry, you broke up. Did you say that again?
How you plan to help fix their payment processing, or if they have a plan in stake that you know of and a time frame of it?
Yeah, so it's again, I'm not like the technical backend guy. We're not even saying that it could not have happened this weekend. And what we're saying is that there is so many. I mean, what we're trying to do, guys, it's pretty big. It's not like we're a Visa or anything like that. We're trying to take something that's in somebody's digital currency wallet and be able to pay for it in real time for a tangible good and service. Like it's so the I don't know if we were necessarily a little overzealous, or the Bretman group was a little overzealous, but there's a lot of dots that have to be connected from a technical aspect in terms of payment processing. Where does that money go? How is it closed out? How does it get converted to USD? How do we take into consideration the factors of volatility? How do we confirm your customer? Like there's a lot behind the scenes, and I think this is one of the reasons why these type of forums are good, because and again, posts like this on social media, like one, it's boring, two, no one can read it, Ethereum, I'm gonna get yelled at the end anyway. So we probably could have rolled out something for this weekend. However, it would not have gone. We want to hold ourselves to a really high standard, and it would not have been rolled out the way that we would have wanted it to. We don't want somebody, drunk at night to go have to pay for a table and a bottle, and all of a sudden it's not working. People don't. This has to be really like plug and play as the best of our ability. So both parties decided that just right here this day and time wasn't the best time for it. What I could say like with absolute confidence was that it was a collective decision. It wasn't like, oh hey, ETHEREUM Max, you guys aren't ready, and we were like, hey, you guys aren't ready. It's just like how is this going to look and feel for the customer experience? Because it's all about experience and it's all about community. So if that was not going to be an ideal experience, we didn't want this weekend to be a poor grand opening, if you will. So there's not necessarily specific timelines involved in terms of like when we're going to roll it out next. I would assume that's probably going to be the next time we just dig in Amy, because I know the group is heavily infiltrated down there in terms of what they cover. But conversations are continuing for how the immediate future could look. And to put things in perspective, just so everyone knows, like there was a bunch of tickets already purchased for the Mayweather fight this week with utilizing Emax, just so in terms of people awareness.
All right, J. Cole, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Steve, Mystic, how you doing, man? So I wanted to. There's just a few things that while you've been talking, Steve, that I thought some other minds would probably be thinking. At my question I'm going to make two comments, and then my question is going to be about just if you don't mind explaining governance, because I'm sure there's a lot of people in your plans as far as governance and what that means in decentralization in the ecosystem or in the community. But the first two comments I wanted to make quickly, just for the minds, because I thought of it, and the people who might be less educated. Steve Jobs didn't do any remedial work as far as development. Everyone just remember that he went on to lead Apple. So business minds, they know that they need smarter people around them than they are, and I'm assuming, Steve, you're exactly like that type of individual. So that's one thing. Number two is would you say, Steve, that it's really just an existing infrastructure on the Grutman Group side, that holds up the Emax capabilities, just with point of sale systems and things like that, just so everyone can hear that.
Well, that is part of the complexity behind the technology. Like obviously they already have their own POS, point of sale systems. For those of you who don't know, in terms of being able to process payments, however, this is typically done with what we know as a standard payment system, a credit card, if you will. So if you think about like the different touch points that have to be connected in order for them to be processed, it's pulling it from a wallet, going to another wallet, then at some point it has to get converted into USD dollars, and then at some point it has to, like at the end of a night at every single nightclub, bar, venue, like you have to like cash out and make sure that everything's even, and then that has to get sent back to the venue. So there's just a lot of touch points there. So I would say some of the software existed there, where some of it we were customizing and or bringing in terms of making Emax available. So if that answers that question, in terms of governance, this is something that super excited about. It kind of goes on, Emax bridging the gap between community and the fundamental utility space. And we believe implementing governance is really going to help fuel holders in terms of driving our sustainability, growth, development decisions. So what this means in short is, having governance within the ETHEREUM Max ecosystem is holders will be able to actually vote on potential developments, strategies, updates, token of themselves. Almost, where we envision this going is like really like holding our feet to the fire when we say community voice. So like, hey guys, we're considering rolling out either X or Z. What do you guys think? And it's like any country, any democracy, any team, there's going to be some people who are happy, some people who are not happy. But like at the end of the day, numbers are going to speak, people are going to speak, and we want the Emax community to be part of some of these decisions, especially as we're landing new partnerships or we're making new decisions. Like, hey guys, would you rather us, pursue this partnership, or would you rather us, pursue NFTs? Like, what does the community really want? Because if you think about it just from a logical business operation standpoint, we're not going to continue to develop and create things if it's not driven by the community. That would be more so just internal decisions, and that doesn't necessarily benefit us. Without the community, we're nothing, right? So we want to make sure that the community in and of themselves is the driving force behind these powerful decisions that's going to get everyone to the next level, and that's really what our focus is. And we think the governance is going to be a huge part of that.
All right, next question, Taki Banks, go ahead.
Hey man, so first of all, I want to say thank you to the whole team for all your guys' hard work. I work service industry. I've been to actually a couple of the nightclubs owned by Groot in Miami. I know that bottle service and everything gets crazy. And I actually appreciate you guys putting a hold on doing the Emax payments, because if somebody's doing $20,000 bottle service tables or 8 bottle service tables at Live Miami nightclub this weekend, and then Group Hospitality has to turn around and sell so they can make sure they make their money on those bottles and that service and that tip for their servers, that made 100% sense to me. So good on you guys for doing that. I think it's way better to wait in the long term to make sure everything's done right than kind of rush it just to get the name out there and then fall flat on the face. So I completely 100% believe in this project. One question that I do have, and it hasn't scared me, I've been holding since the beginning. I was lucky to get in at the beginning, but one thing that I did notice is the wallet, with the dev wallet, I believe that was at 29%, dropped like 20 trillion, I think, in coins on June 1st. And I was wondering if you had like an answer to why that happened, or if it was because the devs are working on some new technology that they're trying to implement, and that's why that happened. Just a little insight on that.
Sure. So I'm not sure what wallet it was specifically. I guess one thing that I will say is that, there's definitely a difference between transferring and selling. No one at the top has sold, and there's no intentions of that either. We have just had a lot of operating expenses, marketing expenses, the terminal, the possible terminals to take payment. There's just been a lot of expenses that we've had to pay for, and we're trying to make. And just so everyone's aware, some of this is just straight up cash. People who are really involved in this project, paying out of their own pocket. And sometimes we try to have an agreement if we can, where there's a mix. With that, we've also, which is great, we really have expanded our development team in terms of getting new developers on to help out with the roadmap, to help out with the white paper. Just to give a little bit of insight, we're already, I think, 7 or 8 pages through with our white paper. And if you saw the roadmap that we released last night, there's a lot. I'm super proud of it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of milestones in there, and there's a lot of new stuff that we're doing, a lot of big things that we're doing, a lot of exciting things that we're doing. Even based on our roadmap last night, in and of itself, that could be, content and marketing literally for an entire year, just because of the amount of, the audacious goals that we've set for ourselves. So with that, like what comes first, the buggy or the horse? We can't commit to doing those things without having the proper development team in place. And part of that 1,000% went towards, acquiring, new developers, getting them on board, getting them excited, having them invested in the project, both from a monetary standpoint as well as like a emotional and mental standpoint. Because this is something where I can tell you guys with absolute certainty that we are all in on this. We to people who are involved with this have already left other projects that they're doing, and like people are like all in focused. Like I'm like a hermit in my office, just 24/7 on phone calls. Even this call, it had to get pushed back 3 times because of everything we're dealing with. So like we are, you can't get much more all in than this.
All right, Steve, really quick before we get another question. We heard it from Gio already, and ever since I've heard it from Gio, with people having, whether it's FUD or some sort of skepticism, I've just tried to repeat what was said, and maybe they didn't hear what Gio had to say, so I just want to give you another opportunity. That way they hear it from somebody from the team. They're always questioning as far as like celebrities influencers, whatever that may be paid in coin, they think, oh, as soon as they get paid, they're going to dump on us. And I just reiterated what Gio said, that in these instances where they're giving coin for whatever deal it is, not my business, that they're pretty much contractually obligated from being able to just dump all of it. They're limited. So I just wanted, if you could just touch on that.
Correct. And so we are, we do have advisors now and counsels now, and we continue to get better about putting agreements in place to protect Emax and the Emax community. So that being said, when, obviously if we can, we'll make a cash deal. If we can't, because, we've already done so much, and we'll try to do a hybrid deal where there's some type of token or cash deal. And when that is the case, you really only want to work with people that honestly believe in the product, because if you think about this, we actually spoke about this the other day, like we want people to be invested in Emax, again, not simply from a monetary standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, emotional standpoint, like really, really believe in something. So like, yeah, like the whole influencer marketing thing, it's good. It can be powerful, and I'm certainly not saying that we're not going to do other ones, but how can we take that concept and then multiply it so that it's a long-term concept, that it's not all of a sudden, hey, post it in there. It's more so posting it, and holy shit, I'm a believer. So like, for example, like, I know Paul Pierce posted something, and then he went off on his own, like just posting like 3, 4, 5 other things. That's a type of like organic momentum, growth, and fire that we're really looking for, is that people are believers in this. And all of a sudden, like, it's not about, having a deal with Ethereum Max or like having any type of agreement. It's like, whether I'm a football player or whatever, an opera star, like, I'm making some, I'm making some good money off of this. You have told friends and family members, they're all doing good. And all of a sudden, I'm just holding stuff in my wallet. I'm getting rewards, but now I get exclusivity. There's actual benefits. There's actual cases behind it, and that's really how we're trying to strategically, play chess. We're not trying to play checkers.
All right, got a question. Joey Fit. I don't know why he's muted, but go ahead. Joey, you there?
But just
hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? Sorry you were muted.
No, not a problem. Hey, Steve, what's going on?
Hey, Joey.
I know the answer to this already, but I know a lot of people, continue to ask me, message me, ask the mods, write it in the chat. I know yesterday that MAX was, deposited into everybody's account, and a lot of people knew that it was, scam or fake, but there's websites that were popping up that were saying they're part of Emax and everything. So if you just wanted to address that we're not, or that we're not associated with them, and because I think they put up a fake page saying, they're a branch off of Emax or whatever it may be.
Yeah. So, Mystic, just so I answered your question shortly, yes, anytime we do have some type of agreement, part of it is, you can't sell. Obviously, there's a certain timeline for that, but like after that, we believe that honestly, the majority will continue to hold, simply because, let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's prove that, Emax is the real deal. Now, Joey, to go to your question, no, we're not, associated with any. There's been, and you will see them go on and off, Dex schools. I mean, this is like, people are copycats. And even when the meme coins came out, we're not a meme coin, but when they did come out, you saw a bunch of dog coins come out. You saw a bunch of people were just, it's crazy. This week we saw coins that started with E, or the coins that have Max in it. Like it's people see a little bit of like, oh, opportunity or success or what have you, and they want to bite at your ankles. And where we feel bad for the community is we don't want people to get scammed. That's what we're concerned. I mean, there's a plethora of fake Instagram accounts, fake Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts, and it's annoying. Some people on Telegram are positioning themselves as like Emax technical support, and like please be smart. Like don't get scammed. Don't aim yourself out. Just think about it. Like if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, you always go back to our community. Or our website. If you don't see something posted on our website, it's probably not true. If you don't see something posted on our social media, like our official social media accounts, it's probably not true. So part of this is just crypto smart. Honestly, part of it's also street smart. So if it doesn't really smell right, it's probably not right. But in short, to answer your question, no, we are not associated with any of those. What we're really focused on is Ethereum Max, Emax, literally just making this one of the best tokens that the crypto community has seen, and making it one of the most valued and strongest communities from a number standpoint, from a strength standpoint. from a Unity standpoint.
All right, Steve, do we have time for one more?
Sure, we got time for one more.
All right, cool. All right, Jamie, go ahead.
Steve, I understand the concept and the issue with Live having the inability to be interoperable with as far as the POS systems with cryptocurrency. Is there a way, and also because of the volatility of the coins, is there a way where you can and the devs can go ahead and move forward with an NFT where not only will it reduce or completely eliminate any type of scalping or counterfeit ticketing, but to keep the merchants at ease, to create this POS system where it can be interoperable with like just a non-fungible token? For example, if somebody wants to make a purchase at the POS, instead of doing it with crypto, but just buying an NFT token, for example, at a stable amount, and then you can create what they call CPI, a cross-platform interoperable program on top of the Emax token itself, and then reimburse each merchant exactly what that person paid, and explaining to the merchant where, yes, the volatility of the coin could be up or down, but it will quite possibly solve the problem with the POS system where just somebody just comes and purchases an NFT amount of tokens. So it'll be almost like a product, a retail product, and they exchange that with $1 per dollar or token per token in real time at that particular time frame. Number one, allowing the merchant to get their money with Emax tokens, and also explaining to them that the volatility is still there until we stabilize the coin and have some type of stability, overcome the volatility, and also explain to them that the 2% redistribution is an advantage also, because if they decide to stake it, there's no time lock on it. They can go ahead and cash it in whenever they want. They can change it to Tether or USD. So that's something to consider if you want to bring that up to the devs, that there is a possibility of capturing an entire market by doing this, by creating a CPI, kind of like Polkadot does in their ecosystem, and also kind of like what Chainlink does, is cross-platform program all of these different entities, and for them to work together and operate together, because the POS systems don't have the technology right now. You kind of understand what I'm trying to explain?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of went in and out of kind of understanding and like not really understanding, but like I do understand your high level core concept, and I will present this to the dev team. It's actually pretty interesting in terms of, because you kind of nailed it on the head. Just it's the volatility is something that, any.
All right, I think we got the idea. They went over some pretty important things there, especially with Live and the upcoming, whether they're going to burn tokens or not, and an update on the white papers. So I'm going to get this uploaded, and then I'll go over the roadmap after that. Just wanted to give you guys kind of a live look in on their latest Telegram chat. So thanks so much for watching this far, guys. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.